We are the real nesters, the real nesters, the real nesters, and we at it again. We are like Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo, battling the haters with laughs and grins. We are here to entertain you. Hope you're enjoying the channel, cause we like you. We are the real nesters, the real nesters, the real nesters, and we at it again.
Welcome back, everybody. As y'all see, I got my little blankie. I got my blankie out today. Y'all like my beautiful blankie. Anyway, y'all know what day it is. And I'm the one where, oh, no. I'm sharing my blankie.
What's up, everybody? We back
okay,
again.
there you go. How you gonna try to steal my blankie? Anyway, y'all know what day of the week it is?
What? Oh, man.
What day is this?
This is day for the Married at First Sight.
Season 13, episode 15.
And it's called...
A lot.
Edit that out.
It is called
Memory Lane.
In a Dirty Little Secret. You gotta say it low, but it's dirty little secret. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so these couples are back home from their weekend away with the couples last week, and they just jumped right into it. So we started out with Bao and Johnny, and they played a little clip of Bao and Johnny talking about him wanting lighter conversation. So bam, that's what happened. They got in the house. Bao said to Johnny, "Hey, how do you like the trip?" And he said, "It went well." Then he said, "I'm gonna go take a shower." Boo. So you guys, I'm very sad. I was very wrong. Bao and Johnny ain't gonna make it because he's not even putting any effort in. Like, he told her he wanted to back up the cause of friendship, but he's backing away from her, and I'm sure this is gonna make her feel some type of way, so she's gonna be done. And then right from that, we got real excited right away. We jumped into Michaela and Zach. Woo, boy, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, go check out last week's review or actually watch the show. There's a lot going on in that relationship. So basically, Zach set up a meeting for them with Dr. Pepper, but he asked her, can they talk to her separately? Because, you know, I think he's trying to get his own healing in the process of all of this, because he's pretty much done. And I knew that they weren't going to work, not for the reasons that they are not working, though. I thought it was going to be more based on him, but really, you know, Michaela is very explosive and Zach just cannot handle it. So, you know, he talks to Dr. Pepper, and it really encourages him to let her mediate the conversation between him and Michaela, since they're married, and she don't want him like giving up when they still got time to work on it. And he told her he didn't want to, but he was like, okay, I'll try. Little Miss Michaela came in with the halo on her head. She said, I asked him not to leave me, but he left me.
She was doing a good acting role.
She said, he knows that I have abandonment issues from when I was little, and I just don't know why he would do that.
Oh, how have forsaken me, Romeo. How you forsaken me, I thought thou Romeo.
I love him so much. I just text him over and over, telling him how much I love him, and he didn't even respond. Radio silence. I don't know.
You filled them in? You ready to get back to it?
Wait. Then she said, Babe, the drum roll. He keeps saying I'm doing all these horrible things.
But he has no proof that I reacted in a crazy manner. And we get ready to see, they get ready to come back on. I think they might rewind it, but they didn't add the clips in all the time.
Yeah, this time they ain't
so we
show
get
the
ready
clips.
to see, we get ready to get to the next little section.
Oh wait, no, we didn't gotta go there.
What?
Cause Zach left.
Oh.
Zach couldn't take it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Where Dr. Pepper said, "Oh, Zach," and he said, "Before you even go there, I can't. I just can't."
Yeah.
And he didn't storm out, but he did get up and leave. So, ladies and gentlemen, if Miss Michaela, get it together, girl. When you watch this show, you gonna slap yourself.
Slap yourself.
Okay, we gonna go to commercial.
To another one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show been going on speed. Boy, we getting through this thing.
They bossing through it.
It's already an hour in.
And I'm on site for the whole review on this one.
So,
Yes, sir.
let's start from the top. We're gonna wrap up with Michaela and Zach. As y'all know, I shared with y'all that Zach left. Dr. Pepper spent some time talking to Michaela, and I just want to say, you guys, when Michaela watches this back, she is just going to be shocked and amazed, because her family has a running joke about it, but she really doesn't believe she's doing anything wrong. She puts everything on Zach, and don't get me wrong, I guess he could be a little bit more stronger, but I think in his defense, she's grown and he's grown, and he shouldn't have to babysit her attitude. And I agree with him. So Dr. Pepper kind of told her, you know, that she needs to sit with herself and figure out why she responds the way she does. And honestly, I feel like when Pastor Cal said to her that she had abandonment issues, she took that and ran with it. I really just think she's a spoiled brat. Her sister told the truth when she said, you know, we all look out for her so she doesn't have to fend for herself. And I think that is what we're seeing. So that's the wrap up of those guys. So next we hopped into Johnny and Bao.
Wait a minute, let me start off.
No, because you can already start with this one. I'm starting off from Johnny's.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, Johnny took Bao back to his home where he grew up. He said he lived there up until the last couple of years. He just moved out, like 2 or 3 years ago?
No, he been on his own for like 8 years, I think.
But that was the family home where he grew up. Mm-hmm. He showed pictures of him when he was a little boy and his friends and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And,
not his friends, his family.
His family, yeah.
His family was really tight because him and all his first cousins grew up together.
Yeah. And you go with this with the Bao.
Oh, well, and Johnny wrote this really, he's the only one. The reason why I chuckled is because he was the only one, I think, who did it in the order he was supposed to do it. He took her there, he showed her the pictures, they talked about it, and then he read his letter to his younger self to her. And Johnny's biggest issues, and he admitted in his interview, he has daddy issues because his dad rolled out. But then as he continued to talk, basically his mother left his dad. Because I guess dad wanted to move away and get a better job and home and stuff.
They was in Texas and he went to California.
Right. So mom didn't want to do that. So, you know. Yeah. So now the circle comes the circle comes fully around about what really happened. And, you know, that's what Johnny's issue is. And he realized that, you know, thinking about his dad eating alone and being by himself, because in their culture, divorce is like a curse, you know, that's a real bad thing.
You get ostracized.
Yeah, he realized that, you know, in that piece of it, that maybe he's looking at this all wrong, you know, because he didn't want to be like his dad. So that was Johnny take. Then next we went over to Gil and Marilla, where Gil took her to his childhood home, and we all know the story that with these two, both of their dads were killed. Yeah. So he took it to the childhood home where he was when his dad got killed. He told the whole detailed story, and they look like they bonded. And it's a big deal for her anyway, because like I said, her father was killed also. Yeah. And, Gil, he feels like his life might have been a whole lot different had his dad lived. Then we popped on over to Rachel and Jose. Yeah. And I told you guys, we done went through a couple of commercial breaks. They went to Jose's childhood home, which I think his mom probably still lives there, because he said his parents are separated.
And they had the house built from the ground up.
Well, yeah, so he's talking about how poor he was when he was younger, and they're standing outside this fabulous brick home.
No, I don't know about fabulous.
It was.
It's like a single rancher or something.
That still doesn't make it not fabulous. built from the ground up. He's sharing this story. He takes Rachel in. He's telling her about his family. He's showing her all these pictures and these stories. And she's just sucking it all up until they got in the kitchen. And he was saying, yeah, you know, we didn't have a lot. We ate rice and beans every night. And she's kind of looking at him like, but you had a home built from the ground up. So she's like, well, you know, you associate rice and beans with being poor, but rice and beans is actually just our culture.
Yeah.
Is what we do, you know. And he was kind of just standing there looking at her. So, you know, in her interview, she was a little bit puzzled about his perception of his childhood and him not having a lot. She was like puzzled. So I thought that was interesting. That's kind of where they left off with them. He didn't actually do a letter to his younger self. Neither did Gil. And then to wrap this session up, it ended with Bao taking Johnny to her childhood home, which actually was previously a trailer park, but now it's just a park.
Yeah.
And you know, she was showing him the trailer her father bought for them. You know, it was a beat up old trailer, and you know, she started telling some of her stories, and they were really dark. Like how she built a fort for her dolls and lit it on fire and things like that. And Johnny starting to, first he wasn't paying no attention. Then after a while he looking like, what? What are you talking about? You know, and she basically was explaining to him, you know, they were poor. They was made fun of. You know, she didn't have any friends. So, you know, she just had to create mischief for herself to get into. And that's what she did. And then she took out her letter and began to read it. And she got really, really super emotional and choked up because, you know, like Gil, she never went back to her childhood place. Yeah. And she said it's been people who she dated in the past, and she's been engaged. I don't know how many times before, but she says she's never told anybody or showed anybody because she's still embarrassed as an adult of what her childhood was like. Yeah. But on a positive note, her parents are still together, and she said, you know, it's wonderful to see them together now but she's seen them do life, and life was rough for them, but they are awesome now. So in the midst of that, finally, after her crying for about 5 minutes, finally Johnny kind of tries to console her a little bit and hugs her. And then he was like, oh, you know, thank you for sharing this. And then in his interview, he was kind of choked up because he realized that, you know, marriage is work. And that he might be, you know, because his parents separated, in his mind, he put a thing in his head that it's okay to have a divorce when he's not supposed to. So he loves that Bao parents been married for 50 years, and Bao plans to have the same kind of marriage. So that's the wrap up of everybody for now. So we still got a whole half of the team to go, you guys, and we know Michaela and Zach will not be participating in this event. So we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to wrap this little baby up. There's so much going on, and the juice just gets juicier. Remember that this one was called Memory Lane and Dirty Little Secrets. They can hear you. They can hear me. They can hear you. All right, you guys. So to start from the top, we're going to start with Marilla and Gil.
Yes, sir.
Remember, this is Memory Lane. So, we told you Gil took Marilla to his family's old apartment. Mm-hmm. Marilla, y'all know our girl got to be different, right? Mm-hmm. So she takes Gil to play volleyball because she was athletic in high school. Mm. And then after they sit down for their little break, she talks about her upbringing. She wore her high school volleyball jersey because she could still fit it.
Yes, sir.
Whatever. So, anyway, they said that they had a nice time, and they talked about her accomplishments, and he was asking, you know, did her being competitive in sports make her, you know, help her being competitive in life, that kind of buzz. And she showed him a picture of their, I guess, studio home, because she did. It wasn't an apartment. It was actually a house.
Yeah, but she said like just a perfectly square house. Yeah, you know, like with one level I don't even think he had a basement. Just one level square house.
So she showed them a picture of that.
Manufactured house.
Yeah,
like a manufactured house.
Like a trailer, but not
square.
The size of a trailer.
Just square, yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. So
like
she was saying to him that was her reasoning for, liking nice things and being the way she is and wanting so much more in life. Her and all her siblings are accomplished. Then, you guys, who had a nerve to pop back up on the scene when we thought we was done with them, Zach and Michaela. So earlier, I thought he was just done. It was just over, and I still think they're over. But he requested another meeting with Dr. Pepper for him and Michaela. And they always sitting at extreme ends of the couch. Long story short, this time Zach was more conversational and Michaela was completely shut down. And Dr. Pepper made that acknowledgement. Zach had reached out to Michaela the day before and he said, he wants to communicate. And he also said he would give her a yes on D-Day if that means she agrees that she will talk with him. Now, you guys, I thought Michaela was crazy. And forgive me for being judgy, but I think Zach is crazier. He said on that previous meeting, and he looked like he just wanted to blurt out and call her a liar and any other negative thing else he could say. Now, Don't get me wrong, he didn't do it. Yeah. But his facial expressions while she was talking, he had a lot to say, so he chose not to say nothing because he likes to be nice and polite.
If you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all.
And I'm sure that's how his parents raised him because they are sweet, okay? Y'all seen them at the beginning of the season. Anyway, so he's laughing and joking and he's like, I'm going to talk to Michaela. I'll give her a yes on D-Day. And so she's like, well, I don't want a yes if it's not what you really mean. If you only want it so I could talk to you. And he's like, I want to work through this. We need to go out after this. And so Dr. Pepper suggested that, because she asked them that they give each other basically affirmations, like confirmation that they're doing good. Yeah. And they both said yes. So she was like, well, I want y'all to hold each other's hand and I think agree to at least speak on it later, even if they couldn't talk about what was wrong in the moment. And they did that. And of course, you guys know, while Michaela is always talking about her abandonment issues, she is also, what do you call those people? She puts up her wall pretty quickly. So when Zach is reaching for her, she tends to have the tendency to make him feel the way she felt in the moment. So she gives him a lot of rejective responses. Yeah. And when she first did it, it really hurt him pretty bad. And that's what put their relationship on ice, to be honest. If y'all go back, I don't know, episode 4 or 5 when they had their first meeting with Pastor Cal. Yeah. But I think Zach is getting used to the rhythm now. So he wasn't offended by it this time. He's like, come on, girl, let's just go out afterwards. And they and they went out together afterwards. So what I was sharing with hubby is I believe that Zach attracts crazy. Yeah. And he likes crazy. Yeah. And he just don't want it to be publicly crazy. But when he gets too crazy, he bail. Yeah, I think he just doesn't want it public. Yeah. So like, and I honestly, I have to say it. This is a grown-up show. I think it's about sex. Cause how do you sit on one end of the couch and be about to puke up your guts from her telling so many lies and you know she's lying? Yeah. And it drives you that crazy that you had to get up and excuse yourself. And then the next time you're like, come on, girl, let's go out. Don't worry about let's laugh. They crazy together. So maybe they are a good match, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we was all wrong. They were crazy together. So yeah, that shocked me. I really thought Zach had better sense than that. So they left and went to dinner together. Yay! Then let's pop on over to Brett and Ryan. Y'all know I do them dirty. I probably did them dirty all season. Because since the beginning, I told you guys, they were the wild card couple. Yeah. They either were going to work or they wasn't going to work. And it was hard to just look at them standing side by side or at the altar and say, ooh, this is going to work or it's not. So, long story short, Ryan took Brett on a country date, is what we call it. He took her out on a 4-wheeler. They drove out. They went fishing. And then they had a picnic without food, by the way. And they read their childhood letters to each other. They seemed like they was getting along. Ryan's puffy eyes actually finally went down. And I'm not trying to be mean, but you guys know Ryan always got like the straight face. Okay? Yeah. He was actually laughing and enjoying himself, and it was real and sincere. It wasn't just for the cameras or whatever. And they were having a great day. And to cut across the grass, it ended with they literally was coming back home from that same date. And
she got a text.
Brett said she got a text from a friend of hers that Ryan was on a dating app and matched with another friend of hers. And
just recently.
Yes, that day. That same day.
Yep.
He evidently downloaded that app some point with them being together that same day.
It wasn't a situation where he had already had the app like for a while and then it just hit a match. He just did it.
Yes. And that's what I thought it was. I was like, oh, we seen this before.
He was already on there.
He was already on there. It was no biggie. He literally was out with her.
So he checked out. That means he checked out.
And that wasn't how he was acting though earlier during the day. But he actually seemed like they had some hopes of maybe making it a past D-Day. Yeah. So, she felt very disrespected, and she let him know, and she didn't say it in a nasty way.
But I think she checked out already. She
did. She did.
I mean, before that.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, she heard what he was saying, but she said, nah, it's over.
Well, she was over him when he decided he wanted her to sleep in a separate bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think in her mind, she felt like you're not trying anymore. You basically are just riding this out until the end of a couple of weeks. Yeah. And she also explained to him that she don't feel like he's been totally honest, and this sealed it for her because she even said it to him. She was like, it's kind of what you're doing is not honest. She was like, you told me you're super huge on respect, it's a big deal, and this basically was totally disrespectful to her. So and I was telling the hubby, his whole demeanor changed, but instead of him apologizing, he did tell her I already took the app off my phone. It's not active, blah, 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 blah. And she kind of that doesn't matter. He's like, I'll show it to you. But instead of him apologizing and, just being like, hey, you know what? I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have did that. He was like, okay, well, I'm just going to leave. Mm-hmm. And he got up and he left. And he went outside and he showed the producers. And they said, well, just text it to her so she could see. And she just chuckles. At this point, she doesn't care. Because he left. Yeah. He should have stayed. So
you didn't fight.
No. And one thing that a woman...
When a woman's fed up...
Well, not even that. A woman wants somebody who's going to fight for her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because especially a woman who's a down chick, who's going to have your back through the left, the right, the up, the down, whatever. Yeah. That type of woman needs to know that you're going to be the same type of partner to her. Yeah. And that's what kind of woman Brett is. Not saying that she's perfect, but you can tell she's a very down-to-earth, have-your-back type of chick. And Ryan messed up. He's not going to find another Brett out there. He could go and find all the Barbies he wants, but they're not going to be Brett. He's going to regret this moment. So that was crazy. And then, if you think it couldn't get any juicier. Oh, no. Let's cut across the street to... No. We got 2 couples to end up. Let's do Bao and Johnny. You guys, the yo-yo effect on your emotions tonight. So it's for every time they look like they getting along, and you're like, you know what? Maybe they just had a moment. Then another moment happens.
Then another one.
I was about to say it. So listen, I told you guys earlier that they had went when they came back from the couples retreat, Johnny kind of went off. So then they had their meeting with Dr. Pepper, and that's another thing in between all of this. Everybody's been having meetings with Dr. Pepper. And Bao and Johnny's having it. Well, Ryan and Brett didn't, though. They didn't have a meeting with Dr. Pepper. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Bao and Johnny did. And he lets out that he talked to Bao's best friend Sarah. And they was talking about a car.
Sarah go get her butt.
Using air quotes here. And after everything he talked about with Sarah, he knows he doesn't want to know anything else about Bao. He's over it. And Bao is looking like, what? What happened? And Dr. Pepper's looking like, what's happening? Can you explain? He was like, she was like, well, I guess you don't want to talk about it in front of me. But long story short, I love that Dr. Pepper mentions to him, like, you owe Bao to let her know what was said since you believed it so easily.
Yeah.
And, you believed this person so easily. So, Bao, she was offended and she said she felt betrayed by Johnny and Sarah. Sarah, who is supposed to be one of her closest female friends, and Bao was in an interview crying. She said she was the last female friend I had. I don't trust females.
Yeah.
And this would be an example why. So, they ended up having dinner later, and Bao let him know, like, I have not talked to Sarah about our marriage. And she also said this in front of Dr. Pepper, that she didn't talk to Sarah about their relationship because she was trying to focus on the relationship.
Yeah.
And then she said to Johnny, Sarah's a very negative person. If I would have told her what was going on between us, she would have told me to just walk away. And this is a marriage. You don't just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And, Johnny's like, well, I said enough. I shouldn't have put her name out there. Blah, blah, blah. So she's like, you know what, Johnny? Ball's in your court whenever you're ready. And he's like, don't you understand why I get upset when you say things like that? And there Johnny goes, storming off again. Like he didn't just start a whole fight between this girl and her best friend. Now, if you are an avid watcher of this show, this happened last year where
Chris?
No. It was year before last then. Year before last, this couple was together. I can't think of their names right now. But the guy was supposedly, I'm using the air quotes, not that into his wife. And he kept going home and wasn't staying the night with her and things like that. Oh, I think he didn't never move in with her from the beginning. Because at the altar, he said she was very beautiful. Later, he says he was never attracted to her.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he had been talking to her best friend behind her back the whole time. And one of her other friends got wind of it and called her and told her, so-and-so in her, whatever that guy name is, I can't remember. I guess had went out on a date.
Yeah.
So, I said all that to say that a lot of these so-called best friends, it seems like when people get exposed to this type of attention and spotlight, they get jealous because they didn't have the courage enough to take this type of leap and jump into these marriages and get the help that they needed to get where they gotta go. So they, being sneaky behind the scenes and ruining the chance for the person who was brave enough to go through this. Now, if Johnny, if I ever meet you, you getting dummy smacked. I'm gonna treat you just like a little brother and I'm smacking you in the back of your head.
Don't dummy smack him.
I'm gonna dummy smack him. Because my thing is, if you are so annoyed that you can't talk to Bao, why are you on the phone with her best friend? Secondly, you're also the same guy who would not allow Bao to go to your family's dinner or lunch.
Yeah. Because
you said, I don't even know if we're going to be together, so I don't need her getting that close. So why are you getting up in her business? All right? So, at the end of the day, they are so lucky that I'm not in the same state that they're in, or I'll be meeting him at one of his favorite restaurants just to dummy smack him. I sure would. So, poor Bao at this point, and we all know she's not perfect, and she said it herself. I'm not perfect, but all the things I've done wrong in relationships, I've been trying to do right in this one. And even if she done 5 million things wrong, I think everybody can agree that Bao has been very patient, and also bowing out when she needs to support whatever foolishness Johnny got going on for that day. Anywho, you guys, that got me so riled up. I'm so mad at Johnny.
He messed it up. He messed the whole thing up.
You know, I wouldn't suggest to anybody really to quit to see it through to the end, but Johnny just doing too much at this point. I thought he was a really good guy, but he might have a good heart for strangers, but the way he's treating Bao is the way that he's claiming that she is.
He may be acting like his father.
Yeah. I think he's...
Though they didn't realize it.
Yeah, I think he's very much deflecting on Bao. Because he's not called her honest and all these names. But I really think, he's deflecting. It's his personality he's trying to put on her.
Yeah.
And lastly, let's get to our little boo thing. The couple that is sneaking up the ranks on, the second couple, because it looks like Marilla and Gil is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But Rachel and Jose, so we get ready to wrap it up with them, ladies and gentlemen. They were really calm, cool, and collective, very lovey-dovey today. Rachel didn't take Jose back to her place. And they didn't do the childhood letters, but they did meet with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pepper was like, is there anything that y'all need to talk to each other about? And Jose is like, no, we kind of, we talk about everything. We work through it. They explain how they worked through some of the hardships they had. And they, feel really good. And Dr. Pepper kind of cocked her eye over at Rachel. And so they didn't have the conversation in front of her. They had it after she left. So you guys, our girl Rachel, when Jose locked her out and she couldn't get nobody to open the door for her, and she did say she went to all the people on the show's apartments and nobody would open the door for her.
Yeah. She
ended up calling her ex-boyfriend. And he came and got her and she stayed the night there. And, she let him know, like, the reason why I didn't tell you right away is because I didn't want it to come off like me trying to make you jealous or like, she didn't want to hit him with it or shock him with them or cut him with that information. She wanted to tell him the information for knowledge so that there's no secrets between them.
Yeah, because it'll come back up.
Yeah. And I love that. Out of all the people, I thought Rachel was going to have the hardest time, was going to be one of the people that had the hardest time on this show.
Yeah.
But she's been so mature. And the way she's been handling everything. I mean, I love the fact that, she didn't want to tell him because she already knew he was struggling with trust issues. But at the same time, she like, I want to go into decision day clear of everything that we have. And you know what? I loved it. Jose just took it in. He didn't fuss. He didn't cuss at her. He admitted, he's like, you guys, I got trust issues, but you know what? She said she's my wife. She's not going to do it. So I'm not going to hold it against her. Now, we'll see next show if that's the truth.
See how it go.
But I'm very, very proud of those guys. And I am definitely rooting for Jose and Rachel out of all the couples now. Because Johnny just messed it up for him and Bao. They're just over. That's over. So anyway, guys and girls, I think I done caught you guys up. DJ is coming. We got, this is actually episode 15, but 16 is going to be, it looks like them doing one more couples thing together. And then they're going to let them take rounds with their family members to help them sort through their last minute nervous fears or whatever before D-Day. So we got 2 more episodes before D-Day. So, as always, thank you everybody for spending this time with us. Thank you for watching the show. And don't forget to give us some thumbs up. Comment down below. Share us out at TheRealNesters. Google us, baby. What you guys say, bro?
We're going to see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.